I was from early days grieved by the poverty of my own beloved country. It had no stories of its own, bound up with its tongue and soil, not of the quality that I sought and found in legends of other lands. There was Greek and Celtic and Romance, Germanic, Scandinavian, and Finnish, but nothing English, save impoverished chapbook stuff. Of course, there was and is all the Arthurian world, but powerful as it is imperfectly naturalized, associated with the soil of Britain, but not with the English, and does not replace what I felt to be missing. For one thing, its fairies too lavish and fantastical, incoherent and repetitive. I had a mind to make a body of more or less connected legend, ranging from the large and cosmogonic to the level of romantic fairy story. The larger founded on the lesser, in contact with the earth, the lesser drawing splendor from the vast backcloths, which I could dedicate simply to England, to my country. The Hobbit proved to be the discovery of the completion of the whole, its mode of descent to earth and merging into history, as the high legends of the beginnings are supposed to look at things through elvish minds, so the middle tale of the Hobbits takes a virtually human point of view, and the last tale blends them. Tolkien noticed this vast gaping hole of legend and myth for England and the English people, and it happened for a reason, because when William the Conqueror took over England, a new tale had to be told. A new tale for Normans, not English,
could rule, where the English had no right to the land,
Tales of
allowing
power.
the Normans to
Every
rule as
nation
if they had an equal
has their
right to
own
rule, if not a
legends
greater,
and
by
their own
being
epic,
more
national
cultured
epic and their
because
own
of their
tales.
Frenchness. Glad we cleared up that particular misconception with the
It
100
gives
Years'
strength
War.
to the soul of the nation and shows what it is. The ancient Greeks had the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Romans had the Aeneid. The Germans have the Nibelungenlied. The Franks have the Tales and Legends of Charlemagne, along with the Song of Roland. The Celts have the Ulster cycle and their myths, and the Norse have the Poetic Edda. The Normans didn't just take out the tale and try to destroy it, because that doesn't exactly work. It would still exist and spring forth. So a counter tale was told. The tale of the Welsh, the matter of Britain, not the matter of England, the matter of Britain, the Arthurian legends. Arthur is about the Welsh fighting the English. It is not a tale for the English, of the English. So it is missing. Tolkien's Legendarium was a filling in of that big hole, but mostly just on the top parts. The parts that are most missing, most impossible to retrieve. The myths and the legends of the prehistoric times, when gods walked the earth. But Tolkien did not fill in the hole wholly. But Tolkien did not complete this work. He might have not noticed it, or he might have died. He didn't even complete the Silmarillion. He died before it was done. I am here to tell you the tale that has been lost. I have found the scraps and hints of it lost to time, with just scraps of what once was this vast collection of tales that are bound to history. Tolkien did not quite bind his legendarium to history, and it is very important, I believe, for this lost epic of the nation of England to be renewed, to be restored again, at such a time when the English people are being threatened and being voided into nothingness. Our heritage must be remembered. The lay of the white horse and the red dragon must be remembered. It must be told. And I'm going to restore it. I will try to take on this task and restore it for the English people. Why do I call it the Lay of the White Horse and the Red Dragon? I will answer it. In the Historia Bretonum, Magnanius tells an allegoric prophecy, one that was of such great interest that eventually it got put into the Arthurian legends as the prophecy of Merlin. The king, named Vortigern, who was a wicked king of the Britons before the Anglos and the Saxons came over, departed with his wise men, traveled through many parts of his territory in search of a place convenient for the purpose of building a citadel, because they were scared of the Anglo-Saxons that had come. Having to no purpose traveled far and wide, they came at length to a province called Guenet, and having surveyed the mountains of Heramus, they discovered on the summit of one of them a situation adapted to the construction of a citadel. Upon this, the wise men said to the king, "Build here a city, for in this place it will ever be secure against the barbarians." Then the king sent for artificers, carpenters, stonemasons, and collected all the materials requisite to build, but the whole of these dispersed in one night, so that nothing remained of what had been provided for the construction of the citadel. Materials were, therefore, from all parts procured a second and third time, and again vanished as before, leaving and rendering every effort ineffectual. Vortigern inquired of his wise men the cause of this opposition to his undertaking, and of so much useless expense of labor. They replied,
"You must find a child born without a father. Put him to death. Sprinkle with his blood the ground on which the citadel is to be built, and you will never accomplish your purpose."
In consequence of this reply, the king sent messengers throughout Britain in search of a child born without father. After having inquired with all provinces, came to the field of Lecty, where a party of boys were playing at ball, and two of them quarreling. One said to the other,
"Oh boy, without a father, no good will ever happen to you."
Upon this, the messengers diligently inquired of the mother and the other boys whether he had a father, which his mother denied, saying, "In what manner he was conceived I know not, for I have never had intercourse with a man." And then she solemnly affirmed that he had no mortal father. The boy was therefore led away and conducted before Vortigern the king. A meeting took place the next day for the purpose of putting him to death. Then the boys said to the king, "Why have your servants brought me hither?"
"That you may be put to death," replied the king, "and that the ground on which my citadel is to stand may be sprinkled with your blood, without which I shall be unable to build it."
"Who," said the boy, "instructed you to do this?"
"My wise men,"
answered the king. "Order them hither," returned the boy. This being complied with, he thus questioned them. "By what means was it revealed to you that this citadel could not be built unless the spot was previously sprinkled with my blood? Speak without disguise, and declare who discovered me to you." Then turning to the king, I will soon," said he, "unfold to you everything, but I desire to question your wise men and wish them to disclose to you what is hidden under this pavement." They, acknowledging their ignorance, "There is," he said, "a pool. Come and dig." They did so and found the pool. "Now," continued he, "tell me what it is." But they were ashamed and made no reply. "I," said the boy, "can discover it to you. There are 2 vases in the pool." They examined, found it so, continuing his questions. "What is in the vases?" They were silent. "There is a tent in them," said the boy. "Separate them and you shall find it so." This being done by the king's command, there was found in them a folded tent. The boy, going on with his questions, asked the wise men what was in it.
But they, not knowing what to reply, "There are," said he, "two serpents, one white and the other red. Unfold the tent." They obeyed, and two sleeping serpents were discovered. "Consider attentively," said the boy, "what they are doing." The serpents began to struggle with each other, and the white one, raising himself up, threw down the other one into the middle of the tent somewhere, and sometimes drove him to the edge of it. This was repeated thrice. At length, the red one, apparently the weaker of the two, recovering its strength, expelled the white one from the tent, and the latter, being pursued through the pool by the red one, disappeared. Then the boy, asking the wise men what was signified by this wondrous omen, and they, expressing their ignorance, he said to the king, "I will now unfold to you the meaning of this mystery. The pool is the emblem of the world, and the tent is that of your kingdom. The two serpents are two dragons. The red serpent is your dragon, and the white serpent is the dragon of the people who occupied several provinces and districts of Britain, even almost from sea to sea. At length, however, our people shall rise and drive away the Saxon race from beyond the sea, whence they originally came. But do you depart from this place where you are not permitted to erect a city." That is the origin of the red dragon on the flag of Wales. But why the white horse? Doesn't say a white dragon. Well, shut up. The white horse is later on is a medieval symbol for the people of England, and of the two Anglo-saxon invaders that invade Britain are called Hengest and Horsa. Hengest means stallion and Horsa means horse. So they're horse brothers. I guess they do a lot of horsing around. Yo, bro. You know, it'd be funny. What? If we just took over this land that we're defending from the Scots. Not a bad idea. And so, horses. But also another thing is I do desire to have this connected to Tolkien's Legendarium, which he did say that he felt like he was discovering and not inventing. That it was just how it was, and he's just figuring out how things were. The nation of Rohan, its culture is based off of the Old English, the Anglo-Saxons. If Tolkien's Legendarium is continued on within legend and history, then they would be among the ancestors of the English people. And as you know, Rohan, the symbol of their royal line, their kings, is a white horse, the Mearas, the white horses, those divine, white, pure horses. And so my thought process is that in that prophetic story, of course the prophecy is going to be different because, well, that didn't quite pan out. It was a bit of hopeful thinking on the Welsh's part. And also considering that in the Historia Ecclesiastica Gentus Anglorum by St. Bede the Venerable, it appears that the Britons were actually very, very iniquitous and wicked at the time, and so it wouldn't make sense for a prophetic thing to be, oh yeah, that we're going to just win. No, it should be, you will repent or you will die, as it normally is, as shown in like the Bible and stuff. In my version, Vortigern, when he sees them, his eye is only fixed on the red dragon, because he instantly knows that's the symbol of my people. And he only is looking at that, and he just assumes that the other thing is also a dragon, that the white other thing that's fighting is white dragon, when it is actually a horse, white horse. And so in my version, the prophecy will be a red dragon and a white horse. So what is the story? Story is, well, it's the Anglo-Saxon invasion of England, and we're following around Horsa and Hengest, our boys. But there's also some material from beforehand and some context that we can build, that I've been able to build a lot of the early parts of, and I'll tell you the story in the next video.